Happy Monday, everybody. It is Kristen here with Bariatric Mindset, and I have a super fascinating video for you this week about changing your taste buds. Changing your taste buds. Changing your taste buds. Are you guys intrigued yet? So I actually did a video last month in a private Facebook group where I talked about this, and literally I did it on a Saturday. I was in my car. I was driving home, and I had a green juice with me because I've started drinking green juices, which I'll explain later. And it popped in my head how much I really love drinking green juices. And I drink a couple a week, and I buy the ones that have very little to no sugar in them because, as you know, a post-op bariatric patient, sugar is not good for us, and sugar is not really good for anybody. So there's a lot of over-the-counter drinks and juices that have a lot of sugar, and this one does not, but the taste buds. So I remember prior to surgery, I had quite a few vegan and vegetarian friends that, they would just like chomp on kale all day. And I partially was jealous of them, but at the same time, I was like, ew, that's just so gross. And then I would go on eating my horribly processed hamburger, whatever it was. And I just remember thinking, like, wow, you know, they're like really into this and they can eat that. And whenever I eat that, it's like super gross. So here I am drinking this green juice and drinking a couple of these a week and really liking them, really liking the taste of them, and really liking what they do to my body. And it brought me to the realization, and then of course I've done some research, that we can change our taste buds, which is really awesome. And I think that a lot of people don't recognize this. And I have an example that does not have to do with green juice, but has to do with something that I was doing probably a little over a year ago, and that I've changed my taste buds on, but in addition to the green juice. So it was probably a little over a year and a half ago when I got into the habit of drinking. Well, I do drink coffee every day, but I got into the habit of drinking coffee with sugared creamer. Dun, dun, dun. Which I know is super bad. And I got into the habit of drinking sugary creamer. I can even tell you what kind it was. It was International Delight Caramel Macchiato, and I loved it. And I didn't have the 2 teaspoons or the 2 tablespoons. I was probably having a half a cup. So I was probably having like 200 calories or so of this creamer, which absolutely does nothing for my body. Did nothing because I don't drink it anymore, which is why we're here talking about it. And what happened is I went in and I was talking to my PCP, and I said, this is like my downfall. This is like something that I'm really struggling with. And he didn't tell me like, you can change your taste buds, not directly, but he was like, once you stop drinking it and once you change to either milk or putting something else in your coffee, he's like, give it about 2 weeks and you really won't miss it anymore. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I promise, just give it a try for 2 weeks. And if you notice, I also, in an earlier video, I was talking about like, you can do anything for 2 weeks. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. So I threw out the rest of the creamer. I got some milk, and I just changed. I just switched. And I actually, surprisingly, but not surprisingly, lost quite a bit of weight within 2 months after stopping the sugary creamer. Duh. But it was one of those things that I was like, oh, okay. And I was like really proud of myself, and it was really awesome. And then it was a couple months later that I was either at a party or a dinner or somewhere, but someone was making my coffee and they put sugary creamer it wasn't, I remember it wasn't the caramel macchiato, but it was a sugary creamer inside my coffee, and I tasted it and I was like, ew, what is that? Now, I do use Splenda, but I didn't, this was like full sugar creamer that someone put in my coffee, and I was like, ew, no, 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 no. And so then I had realized, like, ooh, I'm over this. Like, I'm past this. Like, there's no risk of me going back to that. And it was kind of like this epiphany that was really cool. And I didn't start drinking green juices because of that. I literally started drinking green juices for what it does for my body, and because of the access to vegetables that obviously we can't eat that much of as bariatric patients. So having a couple of these a week kind of makes me feel like I'm getting some of these nutritional needs met. Now, I will tell you, this one bottle is, which is 10 and a half ounces. So it's probably like 2 servings, because I'm not going to drink a whole bottle at once, right? 40 calories. It has 9 grams of carbs, 5 grams of natural sugar, and 2 grams of protein. And it has cucumber juice, celery juice, grapefruit juice, green chard juice, green leaf lettuce juice, lemon juice, kale juice, spinach juice, parsley juice, and tea, peppermint leaf and spearmint leaf tea, organic. So I got this one specifically because a lot of juices have spirulina in it, and maybe this is TMI, but I actually have, and I get an allergic reaction to spirulina. Like, it makes me want to throw up, like vomit. So a lot of times I can't use certain protein powders and certain like greens and things like that because of the spirulina. But this is one of those that I really like, and I really like the taste of, and it has just enough sweetness. And as you know, it has that 5 grams of sugar. But overall, 5 grams, especially in 2 servings, is not bad. So I know some people might be like, 5 grams and only 2 grams of protein. But let's look at this from a greens perspective. You're not going to be able to get this many greens in on a daily basis. So let me say, I'm not a diet. Let me preface this with, I'm not a dietitian, and I'm here to talk about changing your taste buds, and how that's a mindset thing. And I'm not a proponent of saying rush out and get these drinks. I'm just sharing what I do and how this can be a turnoff for a lot of people, because it's not something that, if you're used to prior to surgery eating, hamburgers and hot dogs and, a lot of fat food or a lot of fatty foods or a lot of fast food, that you're going to be able to jump to something like this really quick. Or so you think. However, a lot of people will taste certain things, and I will hear people taste certain things, and it's tasting versus getting it in your stomach and having a reaction are 2 different things. And the reason I say that, kind of going back to the spirulina thing, I cannot taste spirulina. So if spirulina was in here, I wouldn't know it, and I would drink it, and then my pouch, my stomach would have a reaction. So that's how I know my body's like, I don't like this. And so then it just comes back up, and I feel like I get the cold sweats. So that makes me think, I have allergic reaction to it. So I have some clients that try to eat certain things, and their body is just like, nope, not going to eat it. Versus you have certain tastes that change after surgery, and you're like, yeah, I can't eat that. Yeah, I can't eat that. So by no means am I telling you to, throw down with the steak if you can't eat that. That's not what I mean. But what I am saying is that our tastes can change. We can train our taste buds just like we can train our muscles. We can train our taste buds just like we can train our bodies. So part of it is mindset. Part of it is like really tasting what it is that we are eating. Secondly, it is, what is the nutritional value? Really looking at, what is the nutritional value in this food? Do I really want to put this in my body? In terms of, let's say, pushing back away some of the bad foods like I did with the coffee creamer, versus some of the good foods like, wow, this, leafy green vegetable is really good for me. Let me try it. Let me taste it. Let me see, if I can get used to this. And so through the pattern of eating something, if it's not every day, at least a couple times a week, to get used to it, you can change your taste buds. However, if somebody has been eating, let's say, cheeseburgers after surgery, and you're continuing to eat cheeseburgers quite frequently, I'm sorry, cheeseburgers before surgery, if you're starting to eat those things after surgery again, you're training your taste buds that this is something that's really good and something that you want to eat. Versus if you're training your taste buds to eat low carb, if you're training your taste buds to eat a cauliflower crust, if you're training your taste buds to eat healthy fruits and vegetables, if you're training your taste buds to like yogurt or to put sugar-free, trying to think of an example, sugar-free, let's say sugar-free jam in your yogurt instead of getting sugary yogurt. Are you guys with me? So something where you're making a transition, I want you to think about how you can train your taste buds to do something different, to eat something different, to try something different, and then continue to try something different again and again and again. And over time, you'll know that you can eat that thing. I think the first time I ever had one of these green juices, I was like, this tastes like grass. And I remember walking into a Jamba Juice, which I know is not everywhere in the country, but I had gotten a wheatgrass shot. And the wheatgrass shot, they give you the shot of wheatgrass juice, and then they give you an orange to bite on. And I remember having the wheatgrass juice and trying to get it down quick, and then taking the bite of the orange and just being like, okay, I'm okay. And it's funny because since surgery, I don't go into Jamba Juice. Actually, I don't think I've been into a Jamba Juice at all since surgery, to be quite honest. But I have had wheatgrass juice, probably from Whole Foods. And whenever I've had wheatgrass juice, I've been able to taste it, sip it, and not really have to rush to that orange, because I actually like the taste of it. I actually like the taste of it, and then also the feeling that it has in my body. Now, going back, not only changing your taste buds, but I want you to start looking at how certain things feel in your body. And so I'm going to go back to the hamburger example. I know it was probably about 18 months or maybe earlier, because I had a big problem with beef right after surgery. But I think everybody is like, what is a hamburger like? So I think I went and, had one without the bun and the patty. And I just remember feeling like, oh, wow, this is really heavy in my body. This is really, I could tell that it was really processed, and, it was just heavy. And it was something that was like, okay, I don't want to eat this frequently, because I just don't like how I feel. I felt like I needed a nap afterwards. And eating that way before surgery, I never felt that way. So it made me feel like, wow, I really need to be conscious about what I'm putting in my body, because I'm going to feel it like that. And I'm going to notice the difference because essentially food is fuel, right? Although for many of us, for many individuals who have had emotional eating issues, we don't necessarily think of food as fuel. We look at food, and a lot of people may look at food as like, that tastes good. So if you're able to kind of look at, okay, what is this? How can I make my food taste good and make it healthy so that I feel good, so that I'm able to function at optimal, at an optimum pace, at an optimum speed, that I'm not lethargic and trying to pull myself together, that's going to make a shift too. And so drinking these green juices actually make me feel light. They make me feel that, I wouldn't say stronger, but they sit well. And I feel like I'm doing something good for my body, and it feels good in my body. So I can tell a physical difference. So this may be a practice assignment for you guys to do, not necessarily with green juice. If you want to, you can. But look at what you're eating and maybe track throughout the day, how did that meal make me feel? So if you are eating something that is, a vegetable or protein, how did it make you feel? If you have something that has a little bit more sugar in it, how did that make you feel? And so likewise, I'll have people say, and I've seen this on message boards where people are like, oh, I had something that had a lot of sugar in it and it didn't affect me. And one of the things that I will say back is, we have this pouch, we have this new stomach, right? We've had bariatric surgery. And so that doesn't mean that it's a fix-all. So there are things that we're still going to be able to eat that we're not supposed to eat. And so it's not that, the stomach is not a garbage can. So we don't want to throw absolutely everything in there. So it's really about, yeah, you put that in your stomach, but then how did it make you feel? So practicing the awareness, how did it make you feel? So just because we had it smaller, like some people are going to have dumping and other people are not. Some people are going to have a variation of dumping syndrome where you get the hot sweats, or I'm sorry, the cold sweats, or, you kind of feel a little queasy, and other people won't. So that doesn't mean like, yay, I get to stuff more stuff in there, or I get to repeat this pattern over and over. That should be like, oh, wow, I need to really be careful with this. I've got to practice the awareness that hot dogs are a no-no, or, ice cream, more than half a cup of ice cream is a no-no if somebody can fit that much in. Like, it's really about practicing the awareness of, uh-oh, it's a fine line, or I'm on the edge with this one. So, and I know some people are like, is this normal? Is this normal? Should I eat this? Can I eat this? And so I think for the most part, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And so this is where your own awareness and really practicing that awareness of, should I be eating this? And how does this make me feel in my body? And what is the outcome going to be if I start eating this regularly? Weight gain. What is the outcome going to be if I keep pushing the limits of my stomach? Weight regain. Like, what is that? So it's really about you practicing the awareness and then going, okay, this is a non-negotiable. This is a no-no zone. So me not going in this direction, and finding foods that you can that do make you feel good, that you can have. So berry friendly items, et cetera, et cetera. And then healthy items that maybe you didn't think of before, or that you didn't like before because of your taste buds, and changing your taste buds, actively changing your taste buds to that item. So what my challenge is for you today is maybe to pick one item that you previously have not liked, obviously that you're not allergic to, that you want to start eating or drinking, that is going to improve your health, that is going to make you feel super proud of yourself, that is going to make you feel good in your body, that is healthy and going to help you to reach your long-term health and wellness goals. What is that item? So if you want, go ahead and put it in the comments below and start shifting your taste buds. It usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to shift your taste buds to that item. And I do mean 2 to 3 weeks, like every single day. If it's not something that you are going to eat or drink every single day, you might give it a little bit longer. So start thinking about that and challenge yourself to change your taste buds, because they can learn, they can change, and you can transition to eating things that are a whole lot healthier for you as a result of training and transitioning your taste buds to eating and drinking healthier things, like my little green juice here. So if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. For added support, remember that you can find us on Facebook at Bariatric Mindset Mavens. I'm also on Instagram at Bariatric Mindset and on Twitter at Bari Mindset. And I hope to see you next week. Practice the awareness, change your taste buds. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Bye.